dance through the highways, and on we'll go.
No Limit Baby podcast, episode number 4, here with Mr. Cozy and his brother Jake, Mr. Brasket, and here we go. That's the intro. That's all.
Let's get it popping.
Oh yeah, let's get it. Well, we're just gonna hop right into it. It's gonna be a short one. We only have like 30 minutes, but pretty much we're just gonna be kind of sitting down with Jake here, asking him some questions, just because he's pretty cool. He's got some stuff going on, so interesting. We could all learn about it, you know. So we'll get right into it. I really want to start with like high school football, and because I feel like that was like, to me, that's pretty fucking sweet. I mean, you played with like Robert Tunyon, all that, you know, you had a really good team. You were really fucking good. So I just kind of want to ask, like, how did that all start coming together, you know? Like, when did you start taking it really serious?
So, actually, it's funny. I didn't play a lot of sports growing up in middle school. Till about 6th grade, I finally was pressured into doing a little bit of track. Obviously, you went to Harrison, so Mr. Locke. And,
Damn.
Yeah.
That's some OG shit.
Mr. Locke.
I don't even remember that person.
He was a bald guy, right? Wasn't he bald?
No, I don't remember who the bald guy was, but Mr. Locke was the girls' basketball coach.
No, I'm
That
tweaking.
That got fired. He got fired for something I can't remember. They let him go. But he was like one of the best coaches middle school had. And he didn't coach any guys' sports except track. Mm-hmm. So he's like, you need to do track. After I did track, 6th grade year, 7th grade year, I did basketball. Did basketball and track for the last 2 years. And then...
Damn, so you started in 6th grade. Aren't you on the board for like everything at Harrison?
Still is, I think.
I was.
When I went there to
you
read.
just picked it up and just fucking broke all the records?
I guess so, man. Yeah.
That's crazy.
A couple of them got beat. I went there like my senior year or my junior year.
I remember that. You were like heartbroken.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
You were like, damn, Jake's records are gone.
I think it was someone that we know too.
I think
it was Crispy.
It might have been. What did you run? Do you remember?
I did everything in middle school.
The ones that
Track
stayed.
and field. I didn't jump, but I did discus, shot put.
So track was kind of the base, and then you moved to basketball. So when did you start getting into football, like freshman year?
So 7th grade, I did track and basketball, and then Timmy, who my best friend Timmy.
Yeah, we've played Fortnite. I think we've played some Fortnite.
Yeah, he had played football since he was like 1st grade, 2nd grade, and I was always chilling with him and had to go home because he had to go to practice. And his parents were, you know, I was always with his, it was like my second family.
Right.
His parents are always like, why aren't you playing? Obviously money, whatever the reason. So I went with him one day to sign-ups, 7th grade, right before the season starts, whatever, school's starting up soon. And the coaches are looking at me like, okay, you know, they're talking to Timmy, and then they would talk to me, to Timmy, and then they would talk to me, and I'd tell them every time, like, I'm not here to sign up. All the coaches got together with Timmy's parents, and they're like, this kid needs to play, like, we need this kid. So that happened after that. I don't think they charged me anything for that first year.
Wait, so they all came together and paid for you?
No, I don't think, I just think they decided not to charge me.
Yeah,
I was gonna
that
say
happened with me a lot of my years.
I was gonna say that. Oh fuck, that'd be crazy if that happened to both of you guys with football.
Oh,
like
yeah.
like the team coming
Yeah,
together.
they didn't pay all high school.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be fucking nuts if that happened. To yeah.
Wild.
So you didn't. So you winded up signing up in 7th grade, or no?
Yep. Wound up signing up that day with no intentions of signing up.
You were just hanging out, going with. You
Yep.
just kind of fucking winded up signing the paper.
Ended up coming home saying I'm playing football.
So from what? Because you were an early varsity player, right?
Yeah.
Damn, dude, I'm amazed at how like quick you just did that. So was it freshman year you got into varsity?
Mm-hmm. No, sophomore year. So 7th grade, I was terrible. I remember
Understandable.
one day of practice. I didn't know how to hit, so one day I just had to tackle everybody on the team. Me, and one by one they would just line up, go to the back of the line, next person, teaching me how to tackle.
Just to get used to hitting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So first year was that. 8th grade year, I got MVP, played like a linebacker, receiver. Freshman, I did a winter camp going into freshman year, from 8th grade to freshman year, with Coach Cooper. I don't know if you guys know him or not, probably not.
No.
But I did winter conditioning, and he was a sophomore head coach. He said, "You're not playing freshman. You're coming up to sophomore." My freshman year, so I did that. Played sophomore my freshman year, and that's when I played with Tunyon. That was the first year with Robert Tunyon. And
Was he older than you?
Yeah, a year older.
Okay.
A year older. So he was already a sophomore at that point. So I played up with them, and then the next year I was up on varsity for the rest of high school. So 3 years of varsity, and then 2 years with Tunyon at quarterback.
Damn. Was he like still really like pretty good at the time?
Oh yeah.
He's kind of washed. You seen him play lately?
Yeah,
you've
he
been watching him?
he hasn't been doing.
He's got one touchdown pass on the season. He like led last year. I think he just kind of had like a.
But then again, think about how Aaron Rodgers
breakout.
is doing. No, like he's doing good, but like his whole like
He's not having an
mental bullshit going
MVP
on.
season, but he's still pretty fucking good.
I think he's about to leave.
He's won 5 games in a row.
True.
After the Saints lost. I mean, that was a bad Saints loss, but
Yeah. Week 1, yeah.
Oh yeah,
my
Jameis
God.
fucking killed him.
it was bad. So I guess my next question would be like when, like, how do you think it like veered your life? Like, do you think if you didn't wind up going with Timmy that day in 7th grade, do you think like, because you know how a lot of people from Wonder, like it's like, was it you that was saying like that Hunter's dad?
Yeah, Hunter's dad told
Go
me
ahead,
that there's
you talk.
Hunter's dad told me there's 2 sides of people that come out of Wonder Lake. There's the ones that are pretty much come out of Wonder Lake and leave Wonder Lake, don't ever come back, successful, living a good life, and then there's the bums.
Just straight fucking dirt. You know what I mean? So do you think that decision kind of helped you get away from that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and that just comes down to discipline and being around good influences. A lot of times when you're growing up, you don't know necessarily what to do or the right decision to make. But one thing that we had was we learned from people what not to do. So that's between that and having a positive influence and seeing like the opposite end of, you know, the good and bad and different, all ends of the spectrum. I was able to just formulate my own opinion about where I wanted to be, who I wanted to be around. You know, obviously we make mistakes during the way. You know, nobody's perfect or anything, but...
So you don't think it was so much football that kind of helped you get out of that situation, but more your own experience, kind of just learning from...
I'd say it's both. I explain football as it like being kind of like my dad.
Right.
It was, football was like that father figure to keep me disciplined, you know.
Teach you respect and
Respect.
all that kind
Yeah,
of shit. Respect your
keeping
coaches.
your word, you know what I mean?
Loyalty,
Being
all
a
that.
leader, being able to have people trust you to get something done.
How to speak in front of crowds.
Right.
There's so many. It's an endless list of like benefits from it. Definitely.
Absolutely, yeah. It just teaches you how to be accountable, you know? It's not only to other people, but to yourself. You know, you can't really accomplish something if you're not really telling yourself. You know, you could tell other people you want to do something, but are you really doing it at the end of the day? So,
Right. Action speaks so much louder than words.
right. So that's what football was for me. You know, I might have talked here and there, you know, talk crap, be competitive, but really it was my hard work that excelled me through that. You know, I wasn't the fastest. I might have been a good athlete, but you know, once you get to college, everybody's good.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
the point.
We were only Division II, so you know, there's a whole nother level that I didn't even see.
And then more levels to that level. You
Right,
know?
and you know, we wouldn't be here if we were born with the ability to run 4.4s and jump 44-inch verts, right? So we're outside of that bunch, so we have to work harder to get those results, and that, you know, that's really what drove me is, you know, not saying that I thought I was a bad athlete, but you know, my skill had to make up for, you know, some of the athleticism I might not have had.
That natural, like, just gene. You
Right.
know, you got Zion Williamson jumping fucking 4 feet in the air. And he's
280
pounds.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of shit. You can't just naturally
Exactly.
have that. You have to fucking just go and grind for that shit. I mean, he probably definitely has a lot of genetic just freaks, but... Yeah, I see what you mean. Damn, carpet got fucked up. I see what you mean for sure, like how you have to just constantly grind for it. What are we at? 12:25 bet. So I guess my next question would be, do you remember that moment when you got your full ride and like what that was like and like just that emotional like feeling?
So it was a little bit short of a full ride. I got academic money. I got football money. my first and second year, and the scholarship on the football side wasn't as big. But I tore my ACL my freshman year in the springtime, sat the second year, and then the third year I made a full recovery. Again, reverting back to the weight room. No one was going to outwork me in the weight room. Whether that meant I was going to be bigger, stronger, faster, or better than anybody else, there's no telling. But nobody was going to outwork me in the weight room.
You're like a first in, last out kind of guy?
Yup.
Yeah.
And doing it to the best of my ability. So with being hurt freshman, sophomore year, and then coming back, working my way back, the coaches saw all the work I was putting in and the progress I made to get back 100% healthy, to starting form, to be able to produce. And they bumped my football scholarship up about double. So I got a lot of academic money, a lot of football money, and then, the rest.
Were you scared, like your freshman year it sounds weird when you say that, I don't know why, but freshman year of college, when you tore your ACL, what was like that emotional? Like, were you like, fuck, man?
Oh, absolutely.
That quick?
Yeah, absolutely. You think everything's over. I mean,
you could probably pull, not to cut you off, but you probably pull that closer.
Closer?
Just a little bit. Probably do like 6 inches. That's usually what I do.
For sure. Yeah, you tear your ACL, man. I mean, any significant injury like that, it's gonna send you down a path mentally you might not have ever been down. And that's just not being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. Lifting, getting on the field.
Trapped in your dorm.
Right, even going for a walk or on a run. You can't really do that.
What was getting to class like?
Oh, it was tough. First 2 weeks, I was hobbling everywhere. And then I had surgery. The surgery is first 2 months you're not really walking. And then, you could walk after the first couple weeks, but you're doing as little as possible.
Yeah, you're kind of doing the hobble thing where you're like throwing your leg to the side.
Exactly. 6 months, then you start feeling better, but you still can't fully participate. And then you get around that year mark, and then you're like, okay, my doctor says I'm good, but I know it happened, so is it going to hurt when I run? Is it going to hurt when I run routes?
Is it going to pop again?
Right. You have to get through that
like mental block
phase. Yeah. And then once you get through that, after they tell you you're good, then you just got to trust your body again. But
just to be able to hold up. Yeah, I kind of had that issue. I mean, that's obvious. It's not as big of a deal as tearing your ACL, but when I got that I got a high ankle sprain in the stupidest way. Me and CJ were just fucking playing catch. And I landed on him and I got a high ankle sprain, so I had to get like the tightrope surgery, which is where they put like a wire to hold my tibia and fibia together. But like I had that really tough mental block, like that summer camp senior year, especially when it came to Kevin. I just felt like I was so fucking slow because I couldn't do my like back steps or anything anymore. But once I got out of that mental block, I got out of that and then I was fine. But then I quit anyway because I just got really. A lot of shit happened, and then I just had to do it. But none of this would probably be here if I didn't do that. So.
Well, high ankle sprains are tough, man. They say a high ankle sprain, sometimes it's better to have a hairline fracture or something than severely spraining your ankle, because it's like a deep bone bruise, and there's no really telling how long that takes to heal. It's different.
Yeah, I got.
And you're always on your ankle, like you're always walking.
I got this big ass scar here, and then another little one on this side. But I mean, ask him at work. Like it's like those stairs, dude. It's like crack, 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 crack every single fucking stair, and it's just like fuck. I want it to go away so bad. But back, kind of get on track. Sorry, we got a little veered off there. But do you have any questions about like his football shit?
Shit, I know basically everything.
Yeah, I kind of already asked.
Yeah, I'm just listening.
When he's talking, yeah. I don't know. Sometimes you may have a question.
I'm
just trying to get you more involved.
Thanks for asking.
You're not really
Yeah.
talking.
You might have already asked it, but just for content purposes.
Yeah, let the people know.
Let me get some thought.
Let
Let me get some thought.
brew up a great question.
Yeah,
It's got to prove his thesis.
I feel pressured now.
Damn. So you tore your ACL. You were freaking out freshman year, and then you got to your junior year. Mm-hmm. You went for 5 years too, right?
Yeah, I redshirted my first year.
Okay, so it's technically your sophomore then, right? If it was your, oh no, it would still be your junior.
Yeah, so it would be my true junior year that I would have played.
Damn.
Or my redshirt junior year, sorry.
So when you do that, you can play the 5th year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you get a red
You
shirt.
did that, right?
Huh?
You did that, right?
Yeah, if you get a red shirt, there's a red shirt, a gray shirt, I think another shirt, I can't remember. But a red shirt is they don't think you're ready to play. You do everything else through the season, practice, you just don't play.
It's like practice squad, pretty much. Yeah.
It's pretty much, and then you still get that year of eligibility. You don't lose it. But if you're gray shirt, that means your grades are not good enough coming into college that you really can't do anything with the team. Meetings, nothing. You have to
Until you get your shit together.
until you get your grades right.
Damn. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, one of my buddies had a
Student
hand-
athletes. Student first.
But you gotta have, I mean, to be a gray shirt, I don't even know what your GP has to be. Lower than 2.5, I don't think. Lower than a 2.3 even. You gotta
That's
have,
like C average.
yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta
that's,
have
that's like easy to get.
that's
You need to
like-
be cheating and
you need to
getting
show
C
up.
average.
Yeah.
you gotta have pretty bad grades to be a gray shirt. But I mean, everybody's situation's different, so
Would you guys like travel all around the country, or was it like kind of just in Illinois?
more Midwest. I'd say the farthest we went was the Upper Peninsula.
Or
played-
Michigan?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
played northern Michigan. They had a nice dome. It was pretty cool. They're in the MIAA, and then which is one of the toughest conferences in Division II in the nation. And then we also play people in the GLIAC, another tough conference in the nation. And we were the GLVC. We had some pretty tough teams in our conference too. University of Indianapolis, Division II school, good, top 5, top 10 in the state every year. Or nation, every year. A couple other teams that were pretty good when I was in school, at least.
Did you guys ever like kind of make a run or no?
Best year we had was 6-5 when I was there.
Yeah, it's not horrible. 11-game seasons.
Yeah, 11 game, 6-5. It was the only winning season, but that was probably the best team we had overall, from top of the coaching staff to the bottom of the player list.
Damn. It's crazy that it takes like so much work to get a playoff team, man. And it's just like it's all behind the scenes, you know. No one ever sees it, like in the crowd or anything. It's crazy.
It's tough, and
Yeah.
we had just switched head coaches my last 2 years. Quincy's a tough school to get people to stay at, so talent's not few and far between, but it's tough sometimes to get people to stay.
Is it just not much to do out there or something?
Yeah, it's not a lot to do. You know, people are coming from Florida and, you know, different places that they're used to just a lot more stuff. Yeah, man. It's not for everybody, Quincy, but...
That's right by the Mississippi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Right by the
There's
river.
definitely not much to do. Probably.
Do you know why
go
Les decided to stay? Do you have any ideas on why he?
What do you mean? Like stay?
You could probably go a bit closer too.
Because, you know, you were saying, like, talents like to leave and stuff, and, like, you wanted to stay for... What purpose was that?
Why I wanted to stay?
Yeah, like...
Well, I didn't really have a choice after I tore my ACL.
True.
That
So-
kinda-
Can't get another.
So basically what I mean,
scholarship.
like, so...
I
you,
mean, I probably could have, but I didn't.
You think D2 though?
Who knows? I wasn't familiar with the transfer process. I was barely familiar with the recruiting process to even get picked up by a college. I mean, if I knew what I know now back then, might not have went to Quincy, but who knows?
Sweet.
They were offering the most money, so I took it.
Well, yeah, I feel like that's the best choice, definitely, especially with like your circumstances at the time. Yeah.
But how does it feel that, like, you know, having someone like Les from a college team that you didn't know them before, and now he's like one of your tightest friends? Like, how does that make you feel? I guess knowing that it's someone that you didn't know before, and you can find that loyalty and just like following through football, something you're passionate in. You know what I mean?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, football was the common ground between us, and then once you meet people on a new football team, then you start trying to figure out who's more like me, who's not as much like me, and, you know, how do we how do we build camaraderie? You know what I mean? And he's a good dude. He's a good dude, and we relate in a lot of things. I mean, we're very different people. You know, we have our own opinions and whatnot, but we relate in a lot of ways, and he's a good person. He means well. He's got a good heart, and, you know, this is just the type of people that I want to be around. You know, it's the type of people that I hope other people are around, you know.
Do you find it hard putting yourself around those people?
It's not easy.
How do you kind of go about it? Like, would it, like...
It's not easy because you don't always really know who someone is, so it's really taking a risk, just like on the market or, you know, in any business-related thing. You take a risk in regards to trust, and, you know, you kind of build from there, and that wasn't a situation that taught me. You know, it's been many situations throughout life that have taught me, but I base a lot of things off whether or not I can trust you, and
just kind of your own judgment.
Right. And as a man, you know, some of the only things we have as a man is our word. And so I judge a lot of things off by what people say and how they act. And if a lot of that coincides, I open up.
It's a good indicator at good character.
Right.
Much, yeah.
Whether they mean well for me or not, you know, if they do what they say, they could be, you know, it's part of my language, but they could be an asshole. But at least they're telling you they're an asshole right off the bat. And, you know, if I don't want to be around them, that's my choice.
Yeah, that's your choice, 100%. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a lot of different situations throughout life that have just brought me back to the point of realizing that trust is a huge thing. And that's someone I can definitely trust. That's for sure.
What do you think blocks, like an average Joe from being able to be like a loyal person and be trustworthy? Would you say it's like social media and like kind of our culture that we have built? It just like gets in people's heads, or like what is that? Because I feel like no matter what, like you look back at stories from 70s, even not that long ago, and the whole like culture was different. You know, if you saw one of your buddies getting his ass beat, the whole gang was there like beating that dude's ass. Now it's like you don't have that loyalty. They'll just like pull out their phone and start Snapchat and laugh at you. Yeah. You know? So what do you think like stops that loyalty from happening, if you think anything? I don't know.
I think it's really about character. You know, are those people loyal people to anybody else that's closer to them? I think it all stems from character. You know, if Rome wasn't built in a day, the Great Wall wasn't built in a day, so if somebody is showing you something, it's probably not the first time they've done it. Unless it's the special circumstance where, oh, I've never been in this house and this has never happened, and, you know, how many times is that going to happen, and how consistent is that going to happen? Right. So I definitely take that into consideration when, you know, looking at how somebody's acting, because it's just like, not to get on any race topic or anything, but someone says the N-word. They come out and apologize. I don't know why I said it. Well, it's probably not the first time you said it. You know, and you could throw so many, not just a race thing, but you could throw so many other things into that category. It's probably not the first time they did it, you know? So really at the end of the day, does that person want to be loyal, and does that person want to be trustworthy? And again, that just comes back down to your words and actions.
It's like you got to meet in the middle kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's not a one-way street. It's definitely a two-way street. A lot of people don't want to meet you at that two-way street, so you got to leave them where they sit, you know? And for good, bad, or indifferent, you know? Different paths and lives. Not saying meeting at, you know, a two-way street, meeting at the middle. Not meeting at the middle is bad. Not saying that. You know, it could be very good things. Hey, I want to go buy a house. I want to buy a condo for my investment. You know what I mean? But it's just, if people can't get on the same page, you can't really have, what are you basing the trust off of, you know?
Yeah, you need some sort of common ground.
Right.
Yeah.
What they're saying, if they're not matching what they're saying, you know, you're going to have to watch this person like a hawk and determine what they mean by what they're saying. And then if there's no consistency, you know, you can't really come to a determination of how that person is, or...
Yeah. Do you have anything?
No. I'm struggling thinking of things, you know.
I think you're just overthinking the cameras, my guy.
No, I'm just kind of listening.
You could talk, though.
I'm getting there.
So
He's camera shy.
last
It's okay.
question. Yeah, he was kind of like this last time we recorded one too. It's all right. He'll get used to it. I was kind of the first few times, but I guess like the last question kind of on that topic would be when you say you have 4-year relationship with a really good friend. You know, you built that loyalty, you built that trust. Say they really really fuck up like one time. Are you like what would you? How would you go about that?
I'd put it like this. If people judge me if people stop talking to me or drop me, people have, and then people haven't, but if everybody dropped everybody for any bad thing they've ever done, from the lowest minimal to the highest degree, nobody would have anybody.
Right, because we're human. Right.
We're human and nobody's
Right.
perfect. So we all make mistakes. So I guess it's different from person to person and from situation to situation, you know.
So it would just be kind of like a conversation thing. You gotta communicate through it.
You can't beat a dead horse with a hammer. Now, you can't fault for somebody for not knowing what they've never been taught. So it's like finding a happy medium between, okay, do they realize...
Damn, that's some wise ass shit.
Do they realize... And, you can't really be the judge of telling somebody they're doing bad or not, but based off what they're saying, you can formulate an idea of what they're really saying that they want.
And then try and feed it back.
Yeah, if they're not acting on what they want, that's when you can kind of, hey, I know you're saying this, but this is kind of what I'm saying. How do you think you'd be able to get there faster, or what things do you think, if anything, that you think you can change? What would you change to get to your goal faster? And I guess the better relationship you have with somebody, or the more you know somebody, the easier, might not be easier, but more weight those words will hold with somebody. So like if I was giving you advice, but you didn't give a shit whether I said A through Z.
Right, random guy at Sam's Club or something.
In one ear out the other, and it doesn't even help. So, it's kind of like preaching to the choir, but the choir's not even listening. You know what I mean? So you got to know your audience, and at the end of the day, that person's got to want to help themselves. Help might not be the word, but they got to want
better,
to,
I guess.
better or fix
whatever the adjective may be.
Self-growth.
Yeah,
Right.
They got to want to grow themselves, and if you take it upon yourself to try to do the right things and be a positive influence, people will gravitate towards that, and the people that want to make that leap will reach out to those resources.
Do you think that can be an overwhelming process?
Oh, absolutely. It's not something that someone that's 18 could understand it, and somebody that's 40 could have been stuck on it for 25 years. And I think, going back to what you always told me, it's a law of attraction, who you put yourself around, and
Kind of the mindset and the energy you're putting out.
the environment.
Which I 100% believe.
Because, like, if you don't know that, if you don't think that energy plays a factor, which it may or may not in other people's lives, but if you don't think it's a factor, you're not going to worry about it, so you can't fault somebody for not knowing what they've never been taught.
I just feel like it's almost ignorant. I agree with that, but I feel like it's almost ignorant to just be like, nope, not real. It doesn't exist.
Well, the definition of ignorance is the lack of knowledge. So
Damn. You're hitting me with the wisdom right now, dude. I didn't know that.
yeah, so moral of the story is just lacking of knowledge. So that's not a bad word to use. It's not, people use like, oh, you're ignorant. People use it as like a
Offensive gesture.
to be offensive, but if I don't know something, I am ignorant. It's just another word of saying I don't know.
Right.
Doesn't mean you're stupid.
I'm ill-educated on this subject, pretty
Exactly.
much. Yeah.
And now, once you know that you're not educated on a subject, and you choose not to educate yourself on the subject, or make whatever situation it is better to change the outcome, then it's just insanity, because you're doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So
Albert Einstein.
I kind of preach that a lot, though. I think I've talked about it on like 2 of the 3 podcasts, but I talk a lot about, like, it's very hard to make change with yourself if you can't be honest. And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the point you just hit, is like,
Yeah.
you have to be able to look in the mirror and be like, I'm being a bum. I'm not doing shit. I need to do better. Like, and until you can do that, I do not think you will be able to, like, make a significant leap towards your future. You know what I mean? And I'm really happy you hit that point, because it's something I kind of drill, but I've never really heard anybody else kind of drill it. So that's pretty dope.
And so, like, that's where I'll draw the line. So, like, you can't fault, again, I've said it 10 times already, but you can't fault for somebody for not knowing what they've never been taught.
Mm-hmm.
But on the opposite end of the spectrum is shit or get off the pot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you don't expect somebody to shit right away, and you don't expect somebody to learn right away, but there's a happy medium.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's trying, there's a difference between somebody failing a test, trying really hard, and failing a test, not trying. You're going to put the effort into somebody that's trying, and just doesn't necessarily know
They don't
how
understand
to get it right. Yeah.
Rather than someone who's just, fuck it, I don't want to know anything about this.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then at that point, it's, you're just wasting your time, or whatever adjectives or, verbs, pronouns you want to put there. But to me, it's a waste of time, because I don't want people to put time into me if I don't see that I'm putting work in that. Now, there's no comparing anybody, from one person to another. There's no comparison. I'm doing more or I'm doing less. You know what I mean?
Because that's like to each their own. That's person by person kind of thing.
Right. It's like if I said, okay, after today, now I want to start doing podcasts, but I'm not, doing anything to really start doing podcasts.
Right. You're just telling all your friends.
You're like, okay, yeah, dude, that's awesome. Let me help you. And then you help me first couple times, but, I'm not really doing anything. You're doing it all. And it's like, well, dude, do you really want to do this? Or, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, and I get that with like
A lot of with the Discord.
Yeah, the Discord,
Yeah.
dude. It's so frustrating. I
just don't understand how someone can't, like, even if you don't, like, find a passion in that, it's like,
Just say it.
even if that, like,
Right?
having that skill is such a,
It's useful.
it's very useful. Like, you can be, you don't have to work a 9 to 5 if you know how to read the stock market. Like, you can make money and live a life just off reading stocks and fucking.
Well, it's not
looking
even
at your phone.
stocks. It's just investing.
Technically,
There's more than stocks. There's
knowing how to
derivatives,
analyze
bonds. There's so much
numbers
more.
Just stuff like that, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, see,
data and shit.
And learning the stock teaches you.
I feel like a lot of it is
Learning the stock market
vocabulary.
teaches you that.
I feel like investing is a lot of vocabulary. I feel like that's a big block for a lot of people. Just not knowing what the words mean.
Definitely one of my blocks, and I've told you that before.
Yeah.
I don't even know half these words, but I understand it.
Right. Like, it makes sense in your brain, but you're
like, I
like,
can't word this out and tell someone how this is
Working.
how I'm looking at it.
right.
You know?
Yeah.
that's a good point, though. Like, if they're not getting an answer is an answer. So, like, so they might not, you can't fault them for not knowing, but then again, are they at the point of, like, shit or get off the pot, you know what I mean? Where you're spending more time on them when they're not spending time on themselves. What could you be doing with the time that you're spending on them? That's essentially being wasted.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
that's like the most frustrating part, is the time wasting, because I'm trying to help them. Half the shit I'm having them research, I already know. I'm trying to help them, and they won't help themselves. And it's I called him on the Discord. I was like Bon.
The other day, or yesterday. You said.
I just added
Anyone
another
but
person.
Brian or Ryan?
And he, Bon was like, "Yo, what's up, guys?" And like 8 hours later, no one answered him. So I texted in the chat, and I was like, or he said, "Fucking thanks for adding me." Well, I was like, "No problem, G. Just keep in mind, no one will answer. Everyone's too worried about Snap or college." And no one's answered still. Yeah. And that's just like the super frustrating. Just like, damn, just be honest with me. I'm not going to be like mad. I'm not going to yell at you. Just like, you're wasting my time. That's really what it is. Like, you're just wasting my fucking time.
See, like, what might be a good idea is, so you have that Discord, start another one, and just add the people that are like,
Kind of filter it
the
through.
most serious out of that, Discord.
Yeah, and I've talked to everybody in it about that. Like, yo, there's gonna be people shaking out. Like, I don't care what you have going on. Like, you have to make sacrifices. Every successful person ever had to make sacrifices. And if you're not willing to do that, like, I'm gonna love you. You're my friend. like I'll hang out with you, but I cannot do like business. I can't.
No, and that's a really good point you bring up too. A lot of these things we're talking about with the shit or get off the pot or don't know what you know. Depending on what it's about, you know, like something like this podcast, cool. If you guys don't want to do it, I'm not saying don't be my friend, but just tell me that I can spend my time elsewhere. You know, we can still hang out and shit. You know, versus somebody that's continuing to put themselves in a bad situation. You know, two completely ends of the spectrum, but you're still getting that message across, like, hey, if you want to get something done, like, you have to do it, you know?
Right, yeah.
The worse it is, I guess, in terms of, like, the person that you're trying to help, the worse it is for them in their own situation, and they're the only ones that can say that. The worse it is for them, the harder it is for me to continue to beat a dead horse with a hammer.
Right.
I guess it really doesn't matter if it's bad or worse, but, you know, obviously the worse it is for somebody, you want to see them do better.
Right.
But at the same time, you can't make yourself vulnerable to the mindset, the atmosphere. Positivity is not bad. You just gotta want certain, you know,
I just feel
coinciding certain positivity, you know, making sure it's not altering your mindset. But really, the negativity is
what can get in your head and develop those loops and that momentum.
It's the easy way out.
Right. And being negative is so much easier than being positive, and that's why it's easier.
Which I disagree with if you practice positivity.
If you're practicing it.
But if you're deep into the negative mindset, then it's easier.
Which I feel like is just kind of like a cultural baseline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't think it gets easier. I think we just get better at it.
That's a good way, yeah.
Like you gain that wisdom, you know, to treat people nice, and you realize the benefits from being positive over time.
It's like playing sports. It's not easy for Randy Moss or, you know,
Kobe Bryant.
It wasn't easy. They just put in a lot of work and got really good at it, and that's what made it look easy.
Yeah, you see the stories of like Kobe. You know, I'm so uncultured. Kobe's on the old teammates. Shaq. You'll see like a video of Shaq fucking saying like, you know, I'd get to practice 2 hours early, and Kobe was there 2 hours before me, sweating already. And when I walked in, fucking had a whole workout in.
And
It's like that Mamba mentality.
How many rings did they win together? Like
4, I think.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
And
Was it 3?
Kobe was always yelling at Shaq, try harder, run. You know what I mean? I mean, they won 3 rings, and this man was still on his ass, you know?
Yeah, have you seen the interview with Kobe saying, someone asked him, like, do you think Shaq could do anything better? And he was like, yeah, motherfucker needs to lose some weight. Yeah. He's out there fucking just destroying backboards and shit. He's like, he needs to lose some fucking weight.
And see, so Kobe, and that's the thing people need to realize, like, Kobe's not saying it from this point of trying to be your boss or trying to tell you what to do. That man has put in countless of hours in his craft.
He's doing it. You're right.
He is doing it, and he's very successful at it. And it's up to people to choose those mentors. And what the words I've been taught to quantify them as is qualified mentors. If you don't have qualified mentors, it's hard to go from not knowing what you've never been taught and learning it and utilizing that knowledge to your advantage. It's hard if you don't have a mentor to coach you through what you're trying to learn.
Do you think ego stops people from wanting to open up to a mentor and making themselves vulnerable?
Yeah, it could be ego, it could be pride, it could be fear, it could be a lot of different things. People fear the unknown. Will Smith talks about it all the time. His skydiving narration. He not narration.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That's a great video.
He talked about his first skydiving experience.
And it was blissful.
Yeah,
I remember now.
Long story short, so scared getting on the plane, hooking himself up to the parachute with the instructor with him, and he says after he jumps out the plane, you know, you're so scared up until that point. But he said after he jumped out, like you said, absolute bliss. And that's really what's on the other side of all adversity is absolute.
It's that mental block, man. There's
Yeah.
always going to be something in your head trying to stop you for whatever fucking reason. That's just how it is. And you have to realize it and You just make that leap. It's like face your fears. It's like we hear this shit our whole lives, but it's just worded differently than how it's applicable.
I said this like
it's the application of it. It's just like you could be the strongest person in the weight room and be the softest person on the field.
Yeah.
Mason Grayson.
Yeah, like Mason. Well, he fucking...
I'm sorry, Mason.
He would hit, though, dude. That fucker cracks you.
Yeah, he's a beast.
But he was kind of goofy, you know? Yeah. But if he cracked you, that didn't feel good.
He was strong in the weight room, huh?
Oh, my God.
Strongest motherfucker
He's just
on the
walking
team.
around like a fucking Ninja Turtle.
See, that happens, like... And I'm just talking football now, you know? Sometimes it just doesn't translate on the field, but... Relating it to what we're talking about, yeah, it's absolutely the application of the knowledge that we learn, and the skills that we learn from that.
Just those little sayings and shit, you know? Change the wording a little bit, and that shit can be applicable through so many situations that you go through.
I was saying this probably like a couple months ago, but I was like, it was a pattern of me saying it for a bit. Yeah, we should probably leave soon. Probably after this, but like you were saying, those like small little things that we've heard all our lives and shit. Mm-hmm. All those, like, even all the broadest, most general ones, like, those can be taken so deeper, and, like, if you actually listen to them, like, you can get so much out of them, and, like,
there's
actually
so much, there's real, like, deep wisdom behind those sayings.
Even, like, the actions speak louder than words. Like, if you practice that, like, you can get so much out of it. And, like,
what a lot of people get caught up on is, like, the actual words. Actions speak louder than words. They're like, oh, yeah, I know that. We'll just change the phrase up a little bit to where, you know, it applies to your life, and it still means the same thing. You just don't have to say actions speak louder than
I just
words,
think that's super close. Like, that's a super close-minded statement, too. To just, for someone to just be like, yeah, I know. You know? Hey, you're not doing good. Yeah, I know. Fuck it. You know? That's just like, what? You know?
And they might not think they're doing bad.
No, I know.
So that, and what good and bad means is different from person to person.
Yeah, that's like a cultural thing. Something, you know, to an extent, you know, you could do different things in Afghanistan than you can in the UK compared to the US. You know, that all kind of differentiates. Mm-hmm. So, but you guys gotta go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we're gonna be late to our Madre, but we got some time.
Is it like specific? Like you had to? Because you have to schedule it.
Yeah, we're good though. We had like a whole hour this time. So
you guys got an hour?
Yeah.
Damn, they give us 15 minutes. We've gone a couple times, not as much as we probably should be going, but they only give us like 15 minutes every time we go.
It was 15 minutes.
But she kept coming back, and was like, "You guys need more time." She was kind of nice. So.
That's awesome. That's
it's not 15 anymore. I think they just opened it up to like full-time visits.
Can you go in now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you guys have to do the whole glass window thing bullshit? No. See, we had to do that too.
They just discontinued that, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good. Mm-hmm. You know, that was like, fuck. Damn, I want to keep talking. This sucks. We got to cut it short.
We can definitely do it again.
Yeah, we'll make another one eventually. But
we're gonna be visiting my mom a lot, so I'm gonna be picking them up, going to.
Whenever, dude. There's so many things I want to ask and talk to you about that I just didn't get a chance to.
That's all right. Yeah. That means there's more to come.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, anyway, Alden Terrence got fucked by the pandemic before.
They're a shitty place, too.
Before, like, it was popping. Dude, there was, like, my grandma got COVID. I don't know how she didn't die. Like, no, like, I love her, cherish her heart. She's a fucking trooper. Like, COPD, like, tons of health disease and disorders and all that shit. Got COVID, just vibing. But yeah, like when COVID wasn't popping at all, they had like 150 cases. Do you remember that? It was fucked. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Episode number 4, I think. Holy cow, it's already 4 episodes.
Nice.
Yeah. And
they're only getting better.
Oh yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
Better
Have a good day.
cheddar.
Put no limit on your life.
The wastelands